of KMT agents, woohoo, that's us, religious cultists, and nationalist ideologues. More disturbingly, some local garrisons have stepped back and allowed the unrest to grow, unwilling to risk being labeled Hanjian, or race traitors. In order to ward off intervention from Beijing, advisors from the Nanking Commission have suggested that League Marshal Sun publicly declare that the situation is under control. There's nothing to see here. Elements of several divisions based in Nanjing stand ready to be deployed to cities along the lower Yangtze where protests are largest, and provincial garrisons would be given the green light to take whatever action they deem necessary to quell the open dissent. So we can either use maximum force or punish only the violent. So more force costs political power and manpower, but gives us more stability but reduce war support, whereas punish only the violent is just a reduced version of that. I don't know if any of this is going to have any impact on us becoming who we are. So, punish only the violent. I don't know. Oh, sorry, chat wanted maximum force. My bad. I don't know if it had any impact on us. So this is an event that has nothing to do with us. This is way over here. Mussolini, Valois, Beria, and other interested parties arrived in Birmingham today to discuss their common ground. It has been agreed that Maximism, Sorelianism, and national syndicalism all share basic principles of states' primacy in socialist struggle, the role of national identity within the states, and the importance of strong central authority to preserve and build socialism. So that's these folks over here. The charter also claims that the socialist state is the final stage of human development, and democracy is not necessary to achieve socialism. Why? I feel like I'm not saying that right, but I don't know. These statements have drawn great criticism from other socialist factions who gave it the name totalism as a play on totalitarian socialism, which has been eagerly accepted by Mosley, who added to the manifesto's name, attributing it to their total commitment to socialism. Okay. So, totalism is, syndicalism on crack with one strong central leader. Railway bombings! Things are getting spicy. Explosions have rocked several stations and rail lines slated to become part of the Central China Railway, with one bomb shredding a train car in a crowded station in Hangzhou, leaving dozens killed and injured. The deaths and delays have brought transportation to a standstill in many areas and has slowed the deployment of additional forces to quell the growing unrest. Blame for the attacks have been levied against various targets, from bandits to the KMT to Japanese agents. Are we the baddies? Some especially conspiracy-minded individuals have suggested German involvement, who they suggest are targeting their own possessions to set the stage for an intervention. Terrorism! It's whiskey and chocolate! You're the baddies. I deny all. We got some more whiskey and chocolate! Oh! Mishra! Thank you very much for that, Mishra. Holy cow, thank you so much. I do have to say, this kind of direct support is really appreciated in January. January is when, like, there's no advertising budget for anything anywhere, and YouTubers and Twitchers tend to hurt a little bit, so thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Want to say thanks for all the great content. It always brings me big smile and laughter. Well, thank you for watching, Mishra. Doing these games, doing what we do, always brings me big smiles and laughter, so I can't play games anymore that I'm not live streaming. It's just like, no, it doesn't work anymore. It's no good. All right, so Eddie VIII is crowned as the King of Britain. Good for him. Hey, 2-year Twitch anniversary for Mixed Rate. Just FYI, you can set the news updates to be only regional if you like. Settings should be towards the top of the decision menu. Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I'm not crapping on those pop-ups that way. I'm just sort of, role-playing that we're mostly interested in here. But yeah, that is good to know. Reports from north and south. Troubling reports have reached Nanjing from both... How do you pronounce it when it's just an X alone? Is it a Z sound? Would it be Zuju? God, I can't remember. Chi. So, Chuzu? Okay, Chuzu and Quanzhou. In the Jiangfu insurgent zone, KMT guerrillas, that's us, have staged a series of increasingly bold raids, striking around the island cities of Yongding and Longyang. I don't know why, but they almost sound dirty to me. Rooted me. Governor Zhu has long struggled to assert control over his mountainous province, with control often limited to the coast and larger inland cities, and now his grasp grows all the more tenuous. Meanwhile, in Jiangsu, Governor Zheng reports increased agitation by Yiguandao adherents? I don't know what that is. spreading over the border of Shandong. These religious fanatics have been a point of long-standing frustration to the governor, but their involvement may well be encouraging to the rising unrest. Is it a branch of Buddhism? Or Confucianism? Because I know there's like a lot of branches to those, and I don't know what they are. A telegram from Beijing. A telegram has been received from Beijing, apparently sent to the direction of Imperial Commissioner Wu Peifu, who sits as King Army Minister over here, and the undisputed head of the nation's central military apparatus. The message inquires about the current chaotic state of affairs, clearly worded with the intent to force League Marshal Sun to admit some weakness or hardship. The central government, under Wu's direction, has repeatedly attempted to extend its direct authority south, but so far much effort has been in vain. Our response must be carefully measured, demonstrating that we need no central government assistance to disperse these insurrectionists. Everything's under control. There's nothing to see here. The country's not on fire or anything like that. Confucianism or Taoism flavored nationalism. Oh. The woohoo incident. This afternoon, protests in the city of Woohoo, bolstered by striking workers from nearby German-owned factories, quickly escaped police control. The garrison, itself reinforced by a section of German-trained troops from Nanjing, attempted to restore order, but in the confused melee, someone started shooting. Within a matter of minutes, police, the garrison, and their reinforcement troops had begun firing on the crowd and each other. Over 200 are already confirmed dead, with 4 times as many likely wounded, and resultant outrage has already sparked protests in surrounding areas. The situation is made all the worse by the presence of a small foreign settlement within the city. Many are already claiming that lethal force was only used in order to protect those foreigners, and the killings will most likely feature in international newspapers by tomorrow morning. Could things get any worse? Woohoo! I should not make light of a massacre, but oh man. More text. Citing the recent incident at Woohoo! Governor Chen has issued an ultimatum calling for the withdrawal of all non-provincial forces from Anhui, hey, the Anhui provinces, as well as the immediate handover of those officers responsible. Though Chen assures the League that his own soldiers will continue to quell the spreading unrest and disorder, he refuses further cooperation with the League authorities and denounces the creation of Central China Railway, which he blames for pushing patriotic citizens to the edge of despair. Under normal circumstances, this behavior would be unacceptable, but Chen's stance has already proven popular, and decisive action could serve to further divide the now fragile league. So presumably we're the league of 7 provinces now. So if we hit this button, we would now be in charge of the country. But we're going to say we must bide our time. We must bidet our time as the league of 7 provinces. Making light of massacre is the best worst parts grand strategy. Yeah. I mean, I think the grand strategy games we play it bring up like more awareness of some of the things, and like I think people are pretty good about separating the idea that like, whoa, you know, it's one thing in gameplay and it's very different in real life. And I think in general these paradox grand strategy games generally move things towards like more education and more acceptance and more understanding than the other way around. But it also it has radicalized some people though. Wolfhound! Man, you've been around forever, Wolfhound. Thank you very much for that. Also, Guokami, I just realized you just gifted 10 gift subs. Thank you very much for that. I'm getting proper notifications on this one page now about some of that info. That's really handy. Wolfhound! While less delicious than whiskey or chocolate, housing and hot water equally important to continue game streaming. Happy to help in these times of low ad rev. Thank you very much, Wolfhound. That is very appreciated. Running water is good, although hopefully no more running water in my basement. That was a big issue last year. My hot water tank exploded, and the people who came to replace it effed everything up, and the next time it rained, my basement flooded again. Moving on. So we got some wars going on. Oh yeah, world tension, current wars. Oh, there's only the one. Afghan, British, Indian War. Only one war right now. National focus complete, the Nanjing Army. The 5th Anglo-Afghani War. 5th! These people just can't stop fighting. Alright, we'll start another national focus, because we can. I don't know, we'll modernize the Jinling Academy. I don't think we'll be around long enough to see it. It's Black Monday! On the 3rd February, or the 3rd of February, not the 3rd February of 1936. It's a weird year. 2 Januaries, 3 Februaries, only 1 March, no April, 17 Mays. No one understands why. Anyway, on the 3rd of February, 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking. It plunged. Fueled by the instability of the market panic, selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It took well into the night for the teleprinter to stop sputtering out the results of what had become known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was clear that the situation had only gotten worse. The shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will no doubt be felt all over the world. The German Golden Age has ended. For now, at least. So, I don't know. We have disrupted industry, spreading unrest, this. Yeah, we don't actually have a national spirit for Black Monday. Although if we take a look at the German Empire over here, they should have a pretty nasty one. Black Monday effects. Yeah. So their industrial base is completely shattered. Minus 60% factory output. Plus they need more of the factories are being used for consumer goods. They have no stability, no production efficiency. Their economy is busted up. We might get some national spirits as a result of it, but not yet. Oh, there we go. Black Monday reaches the East. So it took 3 days, but it got here. Although it began a world away, Black Monday's fallout has already reached China. The Shanghai exchange plummeted before closing at numbers unseen since the financial tumult of 1925, and local institutions are already doing what they can to mitigate the damage. Fortunately, the average citizen is unlikely to feel any immediate impact, but the AOG, the Germans, already staggering under an extensive retaliatory boycott, faces dire financial circumstances. Its clerks have already issued notice that it may be unable to pay the usual rents for its various concessions, and that the final payment promised for the Zhengen Railway has been indefinitely postponed. Without this planned revenue, we will be forced to enact major budget cuts. How will we pay the troops? So, okay, our disrupted industry has gotten worse. This is fine. We only have a few more days left and we become the KMT. Electoral gridlock in France. The road to war. So there's syndicalists, all right. No totalitarians. Not yet, anyway. All right, we're getting there. Did we finish constructing our first, Yeah, we got the extra level of infrastructure. Oh, someone may have mentioned it, but Q's are pronounced like ch in Mandarin. Oh, right, so Qing, yes. I was forgetting about Qing. Thank you for that. I'd updated my pronunciation in one of our readings, but I didn't update my pronunciation for the nation name. Very helpful. Word of suspended pay has already spread as far as the League's junior officers, and the reaction has been predictably negative. For some, this will mean an end to the lifestyles of vice and extravagance, at least for the time being, but for many a common soldier, it's the difference between life and starvation. The officers' grumbling is made all the worse by a small but vocal clique of officers sympathetic to Chen Tianyun's cause, arguing that the League should never have become so dependent on German handouts. In the barracks and the streets, soldiers being riled up by Yiguanyo adherents, seeking converts and preaching against Ferengi wickedness. While the KMT, that's us, and other leftist groups hide in the shadows, disseminating propaganda and denouncing imperialist collaboration. Nothing has yet come of these activities, but what was once routine unrest is now threatening, I'm thinking it should be a 2, threatening to undermine the very foundations of the League. Yep. Rebellions will be punished! So a bunch of our divisions are going to be demobilized. So a bunch of our troops went away. Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. All right. Yeah, Ferengi. Isn't that how you pronounce that word? I'm pretty sure it is. A heinous crime. I was thinking this as a Heine crime. You know, kicking someone in the butt. Sun. Oh, that was, yeah, that's our, what is he called? The something marshal. He's the something marshal. Anyway, he's the boss of the 8 provinces here. Sun lies mortally wounded, shot from behind. Hey, it was a Heine crime! Oh, shot from behind, not shot in the behind. By an assassin disguised as a serving woman. His brave bodyguards were able to quickly overpower and imprison the woman, but rumors have already begun to spread and swirl. The incapacitation of the League's only widely recognized leader is an unprecedented disaster, and unless he recovers soon, a successor is unlikely to be chosen without considerable bloodshed. Without effective leadership and with political fragmentation all but a certainty, the ongoing crisis will surely spin out of control. The League's fate lies in the balance. Who could be responsible? Again, I ask, are we the baddies? League Marshal, thank you. Don't think you recover from mortal wounds. Well, there's that. Spreading insubordination. Telegrams have been flooding it. We're nearly done with the giant walls of text. And obviously, you can skip them if you've done it before. But here, we're getting so much context about what's going on. I would not want to miss this the first time. Telegrams have been flooding in all morning, accompanied by the din of ringing telephones throughout the League Marshal's palace, together describing a rapidly deteriorating situation across much of the League. With no promise of pay, soldiers in places are either refusing to act or outright joining the spreading violence and looting, while police and garrison in Hangzhou and Wuxi have gone on strike. Riots there and elsewhere are gradually escaping all semblance of control, making all the worse by Sun's incapacity. Troubling telegraph lines south of Fujian appear to have been cut, leaving us entirely in the dark as to the likely worsening situation in Guangzhou and Guangxi, while Nanjing itself is now practically in throes of violent revolution. Marshal Sun must wake soon. Any day now. I don't know if it's these events have fixed dates or if they're like, semi-random or whatever. Riots reached the Marshal's palace. Yeah. The Nanjing police have been unable to contain one of many riots spreading across the capital, as officers defect or sit idle and onlookers join in the chaos, looting and burning homes, businesses, and now government offices. The hasty arrival of military units under the command of General Qi have deployed nearby seems enough to protect the Marshal's palace, but the roar of flames and the burgeoning crowds are audible even within the chamber where Sun lies deep in a coma. Like rats fleeing from a sinking ship, officials have been observed scurrying away into the back streets and alleyways, arms burdened by silver coins, papers, and perhaps government secrets. What are we to do? More troops have been demobilized. Quill isn't bad, he's just misunderstood. The illusion of Qing hegemony shatters. The facade of Chinese unity, having held together for nearly a decade, had begun to crumble. Rising unrest in the League of 8 provinces, 7 provinces, let's be honest, the economic shock of Black Monday, portending German retrenchment, and the inability of national government to deliver a decisive response to either has made one thing clear. Beijing's monopoly on power is broken. And now the future is any man's game. This will not go well. The facade of the decade. It's like, oh, English. It's so consistent in how things are pronounced. I mean, it's because it's a loan word. Facade, which would have a CD, right? In French. It's been so long. French is my first language. I spoke it way before I ever spoke English, and now I have no memory of anything French. Can't even hold a conversation practically. Whoop! Chen has declared war. Wait. Where'd the Nanjing click? When did that happen? Did I hit buttons wrong? No, I don't think so. Anyway, Chen. Calling on his fellow governors and the central government to aid him in his cause, Chen has denounced Marshal Qi's ascension as... Oh! Marshal Qi. Oh, that's what happened. Was that what happened in the last pop-up? Anyway. To aid him in his cause. Chen has denounced Marshal Qi's ascension, blah, 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 as a farce, accusing him of planning Sun's assassination and following grab for power well in advance. This argument is already improving convincing number of younger officers already deserted his ranks. The other governors remain silent for now. Okay. I'm just gonna do this just to say. Marshal Wu backs Eng King. The name is normal, okay. Following the death of Marshal Sun earlier this year and the subsequent collapse of the Qing authority, few expected Imperial Minister of the Army Wu Peifu, the real power behind the throne in Beijing, to take overt military action. Yet this morning, he and Assembly President Cao Kun have announced their formal support of the provincial government of Anhui, led by Chen. Wu and Cao have long chafed under German oversight placed on their government in 1927, and their support of Governor Chen telegraphed to the world that they were casting off German influence. While a full deployment of the Qing army is unlikely given the ever-present threat of a Fengtian attack from the north, limited numbers of Qing troops are already mobilizing to destroy the enemies of Governor Chen and Beijing's new national order. The chips start to fall. General Shang Guan rises in Zhejiang. Citing the abuses of his supporters, someone has rallied the Hangzhou garrison and the units under his command to Chen's cause and against Governor Chen Yi. Oh, different Chens. The governor, installed after the removal of Lu Jiatang in 1932, has never been particularly popular among his men, but enough have remained loyal for him to fortify the city's core and await reinforcements. Shangguan has long been known for his shameless ambition. This rapid spread of insubordination is increasingly concerned. Okay. There we go. I'm starting to doubt. I thought it happened on the 20th. But okay, 21st. Uprising in Fujian. KMT rebels, that's us, already fomenting insurrection throughout the League, have begun a general uprising in Fujian province, emerging from the mountains to seize a number of villages in the province's interior. The Jianfu insurgent zone was already known to be a danger, but with the chaos now gripping the League, there is every possibility that they will cut a path to the coast, opening the way for aid from their syndicalist allies. At present, Governor Zhu is known to have several divisions in and around Guangzhou, but this is unlikely to be enough to stem the tide. So let's make sure to bring all the speed down. We're going to play as the KMT. Boom. All right. And the Nanjing clique declared war on the left Kuomintang. That would be us. So, here's us. So, we are radical socialists. We're totally radical, you guys! Yeah. So again, the KMT historically had a left and a right wing sort of within it for a while, and some things changed. Communists got purged. There was a whole thing. But we're playing as the left branch of it. You can play as the right KMT as well. Apparently, I think I was just checking the Discord. I think they said both could exist simultaneously, but they start from different places. So anyway, this is us over here. We got a whole new set of national ideas. Wham, 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 all over the place. There's also going to be a bunch of decisions that are around, including some time decisions right now. We have 14-day. We're not paused. We have 14 days, 13 days now, to get access to the sea. If we complete this, if we control this province, then we'll get a boost. We become owner and controller, gain some stability, and gain some equipment shipped from our allies. And then we have to get the next province and the next province and things like that. So, let's get all of our troops together. So these are all of our divisions. We're going to make an army. We're going to make an army group. The army group will be led by... so he's the highest level field marshal. He's only level 2, but he's got a lot of traits. Artillery, politically connected, war hero...